Hello everyone. I welcome all of you to my first session on file handling. So why should we need to know this file handling? What is the use of this file handling? I will be discussing in detail about this file handling in today's session. So let me start. What is that I will discuss in this session? So guys, I will discuss the basics of file handling, and also I will discuss what is the different types of files that I have, that is data files and text files, and also I will discuss what is binary files. That is very important and interesting to know the topics. And also I will discuss how do I open the files and how do I close the files. So along with that, I will also discuss the file objects and file access modes. This is one of the important topic that I will be discussing in today's session. Along with that, I will also discuss about reading and writing of the files. So guys, in today's session, you will be learning how to create the file, how to open the file, and also you will know how many different modes that you have with respect to the files. Let me start with the first one. So guys, I have the basics of file handling in the first slide. So what is that? Please remember, I have something called data. So it can be word, it can be a text data, it can be a audio data, and it can be a video data. Suppose if I have the data, I have to store somewhere. Yes, why? Because each and every second the data is growing for me. I have to organize it in some place. So to organize that data, I have to use a concept. So that is what I will call it as a file. So that is what I will use. I will call it as a file. In a file, I'll be storing a collection of records. I'll be storing a collection of records. Please remember, I have different challenges if I want to maintain these files. So that is what I will be discussing in file handling. So let me start with the first interesting topic. Guys, I have data files. I have data files. What is that I have in data files? Please remember, I have two different types of data files. The first one is text file and the second one is binary files. I will repeat for all of you, I have two different types of files. The first one that I have is text file. The second one that I have is binary file. What exactly this text file is all about and what exactly this binary file is all about, I am going to discuss in detail about these files one by one. Let me start with the first one. So what is text files? Please remember, whatever the data that I am trying to store in this text file, it will be in the form of ASCII. It will be in the form of ANCII. Okay guys, so please remember, it will be in the form of ANCII code. So what is that, sir? Please can you explain us in detail? Yes, please understand. So whatever the data that you are typing, it will be in the form of the text or ASCII code. So guys, so that is the first point that you should remember with respect to the text files. What is the second one that you should remember? Please remember, each line in the text file is going to get terminated with the end of the file character. So it can be /n or it can be /r. I will repeat, if I am using a text file, my data will be in the form of ASCII values. My data will be in the form of ASCII values, and each line is going to get terminated with the end of the line characters, that is /n or /r. Okay, so that's all about the text file that you should remember. A very important topic that I'm going to discuss now is binary files. What is that binary files? Let me start with the first point. So binary files, please observe here, whatever the information that I am going to store in binary files, it will be in the form of, the data will be in the form of how exactly I will store in the memory. In the same way, I will store it in the binary files. I will repeat for all of you. If I store any data, how exactly the data will be stored in the memory, in the same way the data will be stored in the binary files is what you need to remember. Point number one with respect to binary files. What is the second one that we have? Second point. So there is no delimiter of the line. So like now we have the end of the line in the text files, but we don't have that in the binary files. That is what you need to remember in the second point. What is the third point that we have? Sir, binary files are more faster. Binary files are more faster when compared to the text files. The last point that we have is binary files are the best way to store the programming files. Binary files are the best way to store the programming files. This is the 4 points that you should remember with respect to binary files. I will just give you a glance of 2 data files that we have. We have text file and we have binary file. Suppose if I am using the binary file, I will be storing the data in the form of ANSI, and I will be using the end of line characters in the text file, that is /n or /r. That is what you should remember with respect to the text file. And if I am using the binary file, please remember the data, whatever I'm trying to store in the binary file, will be in the form of like how exactly I will be storing the data in the memory. That is what you should remember. And point number 2, it is very faster and it is appropriate to store the program files. That is what you should understand, and there is no delimiter for the line. So this is all about the concept of data files. So after this, what is the next thing that I will learn? So guys, I will discuss about the opening and closing of files. The basic thing about the file. I know what is file. File is a collection of records. I know how many types of files I have now. Yes, we have 2 types of files. One is, come on, tell me, text file. Another one is binary file. So now I should know how do I open the file and how do I close the file. So that is what I should understand in the beginning. So let me start with the opening and closing of file. So before that, if I want to open a file and if I want to close a file, I have to do some certain things. So why do I open it? Why do I close it? So let me understand a little bit in detail. Yes. So to work with file, so we need to open the file first. If I want to use a file, what is the first basic action that I have to do? I have to open the file. Then only I can work, right? So yes, if I want to open the file, if I want to work with the file, what is that I have to do? I have to open the file first. That is what you should remember. Then after that, so as per the mode, you will be allowed to do the manipulation. Sir, what is this? You are using a word called mode. Please observe here. As per the mode, the file manipulations are done. What is this mode? Please understand. So we have 3 different modes. How many modes we have? 3 different modes. The first mode is reading the data from a file. That is what I will call it as a read mode. What is that? The first mode is all about reading the data from the file. What is the second one that I have? So I have writing a data to a file. So if I want to write a data, so in which mode you will open? So in write mode I will open. Suppose I have already stored the data, I have already written the data to the file, but I want to add some more data. For the existing data. At the end of the data, I have to add some more data. What is that I have to do? So I will be using append. Append mode. So how many modes I have? If I want to open the file, please understand, I have 3 modes. One is read mode, another one is write mode, another one is append. Read in the sense, I will be just allowed to read the data whatever I have in the file. So what is the second one that I have? I have write mode. I will be allowed to write the data to the file. And append mode I have, yes, in the append mode I can add the data at the end. So guys, so this is the 3 different modes that I have with respect to the file opening and closing. So if I want to open the file, so why do I do it? So guys, I will be performing these operations whenever I am opening the file based on what mode you're opening, that you have to specify. I'm trying to open the file to write, or I'm trying to open the file to read, or I'm trying to open the file to append the data. So this is the mode that you have to specify whenever you are opening a file. That is what you should understand. So hope you have got the fair idea. So how exactly you are trying to open. Yes, let me discuss in detail about the syntax, how exactly that you can open the file. So please observe, I'm using this particular syntax. To open the file. What is the first syntax? Please observe, this is the first syntax that I have. What is that I have here? Here I have file object name. This is what I will call it as a file object name. So what is this file object name? I will discuss that in detail. As of now, please understand. So this is the reference for that particular file that I am creating. If I have a file, for that file I am creating a reference, that I will call it as a file object name. So it can be called as like, I have a file, so for that I am just creating the file name. That is also you can imagine. So what is this file object? The file object is a reference that I am trying to create for that particular file. So fine, after this file object, what is that you are using? Please understand, I'm using the function called open. I'm using a function called open. So why should I use this function open? So please understand, I should use a function called open to open any file. I should use a function called open to open any file. So inside that I have to specify the name of the file. Inside that I have to specify the name of the file which you want to open. That is what you should understand. That is the first syntax that I am going to discuss. Here, please observe, I am not specifying any mode. So how many modes that I discussed? What are the different types of modes that I have discussed? Yes, one is a read mode, another one is a write mode, another one is a append mode. I have not specified any of the mode. I can also write like this. The second scenario, please observe, the same thing I am using, file object name. Again, file object is a reference that I am trying to create for that file. Yes. After that, what is the function that you are using to open file? So you should use a function called open. So inside that open function, what is that you are specifying? What is that you are trying to specify? So you are using the file name. And after that you are using a comma. You should specify the mode. You can specify the mode, in which mode you are trying to open the file. That is most important. So you can specify what type of mode that you are trying to open this file. So this is how you will try to open the file. So this is the syntax to open any file. So let me give you the deep knowledge about the different parts of that particular statement. So guys, you're able to observe this example. So what is this F? So I'm just using this F as a file object. So F is a reference that I'm creating for this file. Is that clear to all of you? Yes. What is the function that I'm trying to use here? I'm trying to use a function called open. So please observe, I have given the path. Complete path of that particular file. What is the file name here? So I have data.txt, but I have given the complete path. Please observe, I have used 2/ that is double slash. So why are you using double slash? I have not seen any double slash till now. Why are you using it? Please understand, suppose if I use /t, if you come across anything like /t, the system will treat the /t as a tab space. What is that? System will treat it as a tab space to avoid this confusion. Suppose, okay, you have tab /t and also you will come across with a /r. So if you come across such things, it will be an error. So for that reason, dear students, so we are trying to use the double slash. You need to understand, if you are copying any URL or any path of the files, make sure that you will give the double slash instead of single slash. That is what you should remember with respect to this path. So fine, I have understood the path. So after that, please understand, you should enclose it with the double quotes. You should use the double quotes here, then followed by comma. Fine, I have got a fair idea about what is the path that I have to give with respect to the path. So of that particular file, then what is the next thing that I have to know? Yes, you should specify in which mode you are trying to open. So we have already discussed, we have 3 different modes. The first one is read mode, second one is write mode, and the most important mode that we have is append mode. This is the basic syntax you should remember if you want to open any file. So hope you have the clear idea right now to open any of the file. So moving on to the next one. So guys, you have file object of file handling. I have discussed already what is that file handling. So or file object. Guys, file object is a reference that I am trying to create for that particular file which I want to open. So file reference will help me to keep track of that particular file. So that is the most advantageous thing that I will get from the file object. So that is what you should remember with respect to the file object. So let us understand, file objects are used to read and write the data to a file on disk. So using the file object, so I can read or write data which is on the disk. That is the first important point that you should remember. So what is the second point that I have? File object is a reference to a file on the disk, as I told you already. So which will create the reference to a disk which is there on the disk is what I would like to explain all of you. So guys, if I have any file, imagine I have a file here. So for that particular file, I'm just trying to create the reference. I'm just trying to create the reference is what you need to understand. So what is creating the reference? File object is creating the reference. Moving on to the next one, the file object is very important and useful tool as a file object in the Python programming world. Okay, this is what you should understand. What is that? File object is very important and useful tool. With the help of file object, it is very easy for me to deal with files in Python. That is one of the important points that you should remember. So this is all about the file object. In short, please remember, if I have any files for that particular file, I'm just trying to create the reference. So that is what I will call it as a file object. Moving on to the next topic that I have, it's very, very important that all of you should understand, that is file access modes. What are all the different access modes that I have with respect to file is what I am trying to explain for all of you in detail right now. I will just move out of the screen. Please take a screenshot of the screen. Hope you are trying to take a screenshot of the screen. If you want, I'll just erase the marks, whatever I've done. So yes, hope you are able to take the screenshot now. Yes, guys, please look at the screen, whatever I have given for all of you. So I have taken two file modes. So what is that? So text file modes and binary file modes. The modes are little different from text file to the binary file. So let us understand what is the first thing that I have. Suppose if you specify R, why do I use R? Suppose if you are trying to open the file in the R mode. So if you are using R, then it means you need to understand that you are trying to open the file in read mode. What is the meaning of R? If you use R, it is read mode. It's very easy to understand. Yes. Suppose if you are using binary, so B in the sense binary, that is what you should remember. If you specify RB, so guys, you are trying to open the binary file in the read mode. That is what you should understand. Yes, moving on to the next one, I have W in the sense I don't have to explain much because the W itself speaks W in the sense write mode. Guys, I have W in the sense what? Write mode. Can you all tell me what is the mode for in binary file for writing? So yes, it is WB. So write in binary files. So that is what I will call it as a write mode. WB is a write mode for binary files. Guys, I have A. So what is this A? A is for append. A is for append. Sir, what is the meaning of append? We understand read in the sense whatever the data that I have, I will read. Write in the sense the data I want to write inside the file. I understood write and read. What is this append? I have already written this paragraph. If I perform append, I will add my content to this end. So I have the data already. I have written one line already. If I perform append, I will add one more line. At the end of the text is what I will call it as a append. Adding the data at the end. So that is what I will call it as a append. So I will be performing append operation with the help of the mode A. So if I use A, so that is append. You all can guess, obviously AB is a mode for binary files to append the data. So guys, before moving to the next mode, you should understand, suppose I have a file opening statement, for example, something like this. Let's imagine F is equal to open So inside this I'll give some file path and I will try to open the file in the read mode. Okay, suppose let's imagine I am trying to open that in the write mode, not in the read mode. Suppose that file is not there, what will happen? I'm trying to open the file which is not there and I'm trying to open that particular file in the write mode. What will happen? So guys, in that case it will create a new file. It will create a new file. That is what you need to understand. That is what you need to understand. Suppose I'm trying to open the file in append mode. What will happen? Suppose that file is not there. So in that case also it will create the new file. It will create the new file. Suppose if the file is existing, so what will happen at that time? So it will open the same file and it will allow you to add the content to that particular file at the end. So that is what you need to understand. So please understand these concepts. So let me move on to the next concept. So what is this R plus? What is this R plus? Please observe, I can perform read and write operation. If I use a mode called R plus, I can perform both read as well as write operation. I can perform what? I can perform read as well as write. I will read the content whatever I have in the file and also I can write the content in the same operation. So that is what you should remember. So you will just add B. You will just add B for the binary files. The same way you have A plus. What is this A plus? So A plus will allow you to write as well as read the data. A plus will allow you to write as well as read the data from the file is what you should understand by this mode. You will just add the B for this. That is what you should understand here. So this is the different modes that you have which you can use whenever you are dealing with files. My dear students, these file modes are very, very important if you are dealing with files. So the most important thing, so imagine you know how to open the file. You know how to open the file. What is the syntax to open the file? You will be using the open function. You'll be using the open function. Fine, you know that. What is the second one that we learned? So you understood the different modes. In what mode you will open? Whether you will open in the write mode or whether you will open in the read mode or whether you will open in the append mode. So you understood that. So fine. Once I'm done with all my tasks with the opened file, what is the next thing that I have to do? Yes, you have to close the file. What is that you have to do? You have to close the file. What is the syntax to close the file which you have already opened? So dear students, you have to use the function called close. You have to use a function called close. So please understand, I will just write the file handle. File handle in the sense, file object name, whatever you have given, dot close function is a line or the function that you have to use to close any of the file which you have opened. So this is what you should perform once you are done with all the operations that you have done in the file. So please remember, so you will, this out file is an example that I have taken. So this is the file object. So dot close is a function that I am trying to call for this file object. What is the meaning of it? I am trying to close the file out file, so which is already opened. So that is what you should remember with respect to close function. So guys, with this topic I will close my session. Please practice by creating the different files and try to open that file and try to perform all the operations whatever I have discussed. So guys, please keep waiting for the next session. I will discuss in detail about how I can read, how I can write into a file with all the different functions that I have with respect to read and write. So until then, please take care. Bye bye.